Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, welcome back to WTP Sports. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and welcome. As in tonight, we breaking down that AFC West, the mighty AFC West. And before I start, I got some special gentlemen with me tonight that's gonna break it all the way down for y'all. I got Rob, I got SEC Sean, I got Mossberg. How you, the living legend? How you doing tonight, Rob?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm glad I got a chance to get on tonight because I needed some podcasting sports in my life because these last 2 days have been really, really long.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you excited? Are you getting that itch for football yet?
Man, I'm getting that itch, that itch, that itch.
Same here, man. Same here. And I got my main man, Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10. How you feeling tonight, homie?
Man, feeling pretty good, man. And, it's a little bit of excitement with me as well. Of course, being here with the guys, man, talking to sports, but, really chilling with my great nephew a little bit today, man. Getting to see my young great nephew, man. It was just a ball watching him sleep, watching him be up, smiling, just starting to figure out life at the very young age of about 2 months, 3 months. So just watching him smile and just enjoying the guys in the chat as well. And just here for this great show that we about to put on for the people.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mossberg changing diapers. And I got my man, last but not least, certainly not least, SEC Sean. How you doing tonight, homie?
Good. Tired, long day at work, man. I'm with Rob and Moss both, and yourself, I'm sure. I need some football, man. We need to talk. Can we stream for like 23 hours? We just go. We talk about everything. Blades of grass, types of grass, how to put lines on. I don't care.
23 hours.
Let's get it.
Hey, we gonna get to that point though, man.
Everybody gets a lunch break.
We're going to get to that point where we're going to be streaming for hours and hours. But hey, if you're new here, I see we crowded. We get some traffic in here. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is some of the finest sports analysts you'll find across YouTube. Where my applause at? I guess not. But anyway, let's get started tonight. And let's see who we got in the chat. We got Curse.Spooky. Saints gonna make the playoffs. That's a very good call. I like the Saints this year, and we're gonna get to that South, that NFC South. But tonight, we talking about that AFC West. Do any of y'all think the Saints are gonna make the playoffs this year? Anybody?
I don't think so.
Okay. Moss, you?
That's why they play the game, man. I mean, I'm with Unc saying I don't think so right now, but we never know what could happen. Training camp is just getting underway for everybody pretty much. So, that's why they play the game. I'm looking forward to this season. It's great to have you, man, and I'm gonna definitely tune in to them Saints this season for sure.
SEC, how about you? You think the Saints gonna make the playoffs?
Spooky, come join the SEC train. Let's go. Yeah, the Saints make the playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Oh, bold statement.
I think it's wide open, to be honest with you, over there, and I think they can get in. I think Tampa's going to take a step back too.
Oh,
so
that's interesting. What you
we'll
mentioned
get to
in
when
the
we get to the NFC South comeback.
What you mentioned in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though, I don't know if y'all saw it, but Vita Vea has requested a trade. Yeah. That would be a huge loss. We got Noel in the chat. He said, "How long would it take you to complete a marathon?" I have no clue. How any of
Depends.
y'all want to tackle that?
Yeah, it depends. It actually depends on what kind of marathon. You got different types of marathons out there, but I mean, I've done 5K. And that's not really a marathon, but it just depends. I love to do it myself.
Well, Noel, I can give you a real good answer on that. First off, the real answer is never, because I'm not doing that. The second answer is really fast, because I'm sure the paramedics are going to pick me up and get me to the hospital as fast as possible.
Noel said a normal one, 42 kilometers. Yeah, man, I give you one short spurt and then I'm toast. That's it, that's all. But I know why y'all came here. Y'all came here because we breaking down that AFC West, and we gonna start with the Las Vegas Raiders, my homies. And I'm gonna start with you, the living legend, Mr. Robert Brown. What do you expect under new coach Clint Kubiak? Or how long do you expect, how long do you think it's gonna take him from turning around that offense? Seeing as though he came from Seattle, got a Super Bowl, now was the offensive coordinator in Seattle. Now he's in Las Vegas. What do you see out of new head coach Clint Kubiak?
I think the offense is going to be okay. I think he's going to be able to turn that thing around this year. Now, he just happens to be in the division with some really good football teams, so he might not be up at the top. But offensively, I think they're going to be improved. I mean, you coming over there with an offensive-minded guy who understands offense. He got a good piece with a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Now, Kirk Cousins is not going to thrill the world, but he's going to do good enough in the system to have them successful. It might not turn into wins, but they're going to be a good enough offense to where when it's time for Mendoza to take over, he'll be able to do so. I mean, you got a really good running back in Ashton Genty. You got a good veteran quarterback who I think can manage the team. And then you got Brock Bowers at the tight end position, who I think is probably going to end up being the best tight end in the NFL in a couple of years. So I think he's going to do a fantastic job. The offensive line is okay. He got some decent wide receivers. I think they're going to be fine, and I think he's going to be effective in year one.
Already. Shinobi, how you doing? We see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Moss B, what do you expect out of new coach Clint Kubiak?
For one, I definitely expect him to get this offense rolling. You got to think, with him leading Seattle, no one thought that Seattle would be in a position they would be in. You see what he did with Darnold and Kenneth Walker, and we know where he's at this year with the switch. And I think when he comes over to the Raiders, he has a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You go get Fernando Mendoza. You already have an Ashton Genty. So you could definitely make things happen with this offense, and you have a Brock Bowers, like Unc said. Then you go to that wide receiver position. I think this is a wide receiver that's slept on in the NFL, and that's Jalen Naylor out of LSU. I think he is a gem, and I think this could be his breakout year, having a guy like Kirk Cousins. We know Captain Kirk is going to spin that thing as parlay post, and he's going to try to get this offense rolling. And when you have a weapon in Ashton Genty, and let me say, he did get 10 total touchdowns. He didn't reach 1,000. He was 25 yards off of 1,000, but his average on his catch was much higher than his per rush. And he had this equal amount of touchdowns. So that was an interesting thing for me. And we know who is the quarterback for Las Vegas now. So when you get a Kirk Cousins and you go spend that first round pick on Fernando Mendoza, I think you invested in getting this offense going. I think it'll be a turnaround for the offensive side, knowing that they place statistically 28th in passing yards. Rushing yards, they was dead last, I believe, at 32. So I think it's only up with this Oakland Raiders offense.
No doubt about that. Hey, man, shout out to OG Mr. West in the chat. He said, respect to the host and to the chat from Southern Oregon. I hope you're all having a fantastic day on purpose. Hey, man, listen, we appreciate you, Mr. West. Thanks for tuning in. SEC Shine, what you got on Clint Kubiak? What do you expect from the new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders?
Well, Moss said it. Can't get much worse. I mean, look, we all know Oakland's not a contender for a Super Bowl title or anything like that. They're going to have to take some time here. They've got pieces. You got Mendoza, who you know is going to be your quarterback of the future. You've got Genty already there. You got Bowers. You got to get the offensive line shored up. But I think under Kubiak, I think they're going to move the ball more. I think they're going to be more not wide open spread. I'm not totally sold on their receiving core. I mean, it's serviceable, but they don't have that. They don't have that guy. So we're going to see. I think it's going to be a little bit of baby steps to get there. I do expect them to be better. I don't think they're quite there. I think they need a few more pieces outside of the receiver section. And I think they need to shore up that offensive line a little more because you're paying Mendoza a lot of money and you need to make sure he's upright. It's hard to throw the ball on your back.
100%. I like Clint Kubiak. The thing that I'm interested to see is how he navigates with Ashton Genty, right? Because we saw last year with the Super Bowl MVP, especially during the regular season, Kenneth Walker, he really split his running backs. For some reason, he really likes to split his running backs. So I'm interested to see how he uses Ashton Genty in that capacity. Is he going to use him as a bell cow, or is he going to have somebody spell him more than probably his fantasy owners would like? But I think overall, this is a great move for the Raiders. I think he's a really bright offensive mind. And in the AFC West, it's going to be tough to compete in year one. But I think over time, he'll get to where he needs to be. Any closing thoughts on Clint Kubiak?
I think going to what you said post-game with the splitting the running backs, I think that's why you see Mike Washington on that roster. Anybody that doesn't know, Mike Washington was a man-child. That dude is a monster. He's the perfect spellback for Genty in my mind. So I think that's why you see him on that roster to keep them both fresh.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. That dude is – I remember him at Arkansas. I definitely think he'll do a good job of spelling Genty. But I'm going to come right back to you, SEC Shine. And my next question is, well, we know that the coach came out and named Kirk Cousins the starter to begin the season. When do you expect to see Fernando?
I was actually trying to scroll through and find their bye week. Because I think by then the Rails are going to be off on the season. You're not going to make it into the postseason, especially not in that division. So I'm looking at the bye week. That's the prime time. Let Cousins play, hit the bye. You got 2 weeks of prep. You've been prepping the whole time. I don't care what anybody says. Practicing on the sideline with the ones is not game speed. I don't care how many reps you get in practice. You are not up to game speed as a rookie. I think bye week is going to be the time. I was trying to find it on their schedule. I'm just talking and not looking it up right now. So that's my theory. Bye week is when we see, barring any injuries to Cousins, by the way. Obviously, if something were to happen, he'd start. But if we're saying Cousins stays healthy, which we all hope so, bye week is my call.
What you got, Mossberg? When do you expect to see Fernando?
I'm not expecting to see Fernando unless Kirk Cousins make mistakes. And when I say, it puts me in the thoughts of when he was at Atlanta in a situation with Penix. Penix ended up getting hurt after that overall, but I think Kirk Cousins, that veteran leadership, bringing him out there to try to, Brock Bowers, he has some weapons with his skill set, being that veteran quarterback. I think he could get this offense moving. I think it gives Mendoza the opportunity to see everything full speed. Now, they don't have a bye week until week 13. Will he get in prior to that? I mean, it's possible. I think that falls on what Kirk Cousins does. And when you think about it, the Raiders can actually possibly start 3-1 in this first month of the NFL. They have Miami at home. They go to San Diego. And of course, they got to go to New Orleans, another team we was just talking about. So those 2 road games early could test the waters. It may be something that says Mendoza starts sooner than later. Or, man, we're going to keep the wheels rolling with Captain Kirk and see what we can muster up through Mendoza just being on that sideline, continuing to soak up that NFL readiness. And, I mean, I don't know. This is a division that could go any way. We seen what Bo did last year. We seen the injuries. Of course, we'll get to that, but that's just my thought. It could happen sooner or it could happen later. The Raiders is in the, you think of the Raiders as a lost art, but this is Vegas. Anything can happen, and they could definitely get some money going with a first month 3-1 start. That'd be diabolical for the NFL 2026 season. Vegas 3-1 in the first month. Interesting.
What you got on this, Mr. Brown? How soon do you expect to see Fernando Mendoza?
I think the head coach understands that, man. Listen, we probably don't have a chance in hell of winning this division. So he's probably going to let Mendoza at least carry the clipboard and watch and learn for at least 8-9 weeks. I can see him coming in after that. Once this team has had an opportunity to sort of gel, and then you can bring in Mendoza, because you're not really playing for anything. You're just playing to help get your future quarterback some reps so that he can be ready going forward. So I would say after around week 8 or 9, we'll start to see Mendoza start to get some reps, get the playing time, because by that time, the Raiders will probably 2-7, somewhere around, maybe 1-8, somewhere around those lines. So I think the head coach understands, listen, we're in a division that is freaking loaded. And he understands that I don't want to put my rookie quarterback out there from jump. Let him go ahead and learn from this veteran quarterback as much as possible, and then let me get him some reps on the second half of the season.
That's interesting. Let me ask you all this, and Rob, I'll start with you. But what do you think? What does that say that he's not the starter from day one? Does that say anything to you?
Yeah, it says that they have a really, really smart head coach who understands that you don't want to put a rookie out there and get his ego damaged because he's not ready to play meaningful snaps right off the bat. I mean, they're just not ready. How many rookie quarterbacks have we ever seen come in and light up the world right off the bat? It might be 0.
Okay, Mossberg, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely like his point, and I agree with him. I definitely wouldn't want him to go right out there. Smart coach, and I think he's doing the right thing. Letting him get his feet wet by seeing everything. You can also go out there. You can make some of those throws in practice. You can get out there during the games and just get reps. It's all about reps right now. You got the 25 games that we talk about at the college level. Now it's about getting reps, getting yourself ready for that NFL speed, that welcome to the NFL hit. And we've seen, I just want to see someone do how we seen Aaron Rodgers come in, how great of a quarterback he was, and watch Brett Favre and become this great quarterback. Just my thoughts.
Yeah, no doubt about that. SEC Sean, what do you think that says?
Let me backtrack for real quick and clarify, since I realized that I appreciate it, Moss, for telling week 13, looking that up for me. I just didn't have it. I'm going to say they're going to change when they get to 6 losses. That's my call. As far as what are my thoughts on should he play, part of me is yes, part of me is no. So I'm going to take the opposite side and say put him on the field, just to throw a little bit of a different spin on what everybody has said so far. I think you're paying him. You've got a veteran behind him. I'm not worried about his ego. Mendoza doesn't strike me as Diego Pavia or Johnny Manziel, whose ego is going to be crushed if he loses. It just doesn't. He doesn't strike me as that type of player. Excuse me. So my theory is I want him on the field because I don't want to waste a whole season and not know what I have going into next season. I need to know what I have. If I'm Kubiak, I need to know what I have heading into the draft for 2027 so I know what I need to get for him to make him the quarterback I know he can be.
Yeah, fellas. I don't know, man. I think like having a bridge quarterback like Kirk Cousins, I didn't like what I saw out of Kirk Cousins last year. But I think they're doing the right thing by letting him sit and watch and learn the game under a veteran. I think they have enough targets surrounded by him, particularly in Brock Bowers. But I just think if you spend the number 1 pick on a guy, right, number 1 overall, man, that's this. They can't sit him for no more than 4 weeks in my mind.
Ooh.
Mossberg,
4 to 6.
what sort of season? Now we know what happened. The trade debacle with Max Crosby going to Baltimore allegedly fell in the physical, and now he's back with the Raiders. What type of season do you expect from Max Crosby?
You know, I was thinking about this, and it was a great question. I being a Bengals fan, it made me think about the situation with Hendrickson. So, I was thinking, I think he's going to come out and play, but I think he still has some want to not be there at the same time. When you in a position to be with the Baltimore Ravens, and then they say a physical and you back with the Raiders, no disrespect, but you go to Baltimore, there's possibilities of a Super Bowl talk, just saying. And now things are how they are. I think he's going to come out and play. He's Max Crosby. That's one thing we love about it. And at the end of the day, I want to see him play. But I think for me, he's going to get out there. He's going to suit up. He's going to play. But it's going to be a part of him that's just wanting to be in Baltimore still. That's one thing for sure.
Mr. Brown, what type of season do you expect from Max Crosby?
First, he has to find a place he's going to be. We don't know if he's going to be a Raider, if he's going to be a Cowboy. We know he couldn't be a Raven. So wherever he lands, I think he understands, listen, I got to go and I got to ball out. And I think wherever he starts the season at, he's going to play lights out because he's going to be ultra focused, ultra aggressive. He knows that he has to do whatever's necessary to get to that next contract. And I think he's going to go out there and put it all out on the line and have a tremendous season. I'm excited for him. I feel like this is a guy who has averaged at least 10 sacks every season. I expect it to be like that going forward. I mean, he's forced 11 fumbles in 110 games, 439 tackles. I think Max Crosby, wherever he ends up playing, whether it be the Raiders, where he can ball out and try to get another team to look at him so he can pass a physical, or whether he end up at the Cowboys before the season starts, he's going to go out there and do his thing because he understands that if he's going to stay in this league.
No doubt about that. Shout out to Lucas Fam in the chat. We appreciate you. SEC Shine, talk to the people. What do you expect from Max Crosby this year?
Max Crosby is the wild card. Didn't pass the physical to go to Baltimore, as the other gentlemen, Moss and Rob, have mentioned. So if I'm Max Crosby, I'm coming out with my hair on fire. And I'm fixing to prove to everybody I am that guy. I am healthy. And then on the back, when they got those little towels, sometimes they write messages on them. He's going to reply, somebody please come get me, on the back of it, because he wants out of Las Vegas. But yeah, I expect Matt Crosby to prove that I am healthy. I am ready to play. If you are a contender, I'm going to throw it out there because Uday Moss, find him. Go get that man. You lost Shamar Turner in practice for the Bengals. Now, we're not talking about the Bengals, but if I'm the Bengals, I'm circling him. And as soon as I know he's healthy, I'm pulling anything I can to go get that man.
Yeah, that's a good point because the Bengals did lose Stewart. So we'll see if they're in the market for a pass rusher. Man, shout out to the chat, man. We appreciate y'all support. Let's move on to the Chargers, fellas. And I'm coming straight towards you, Mr. Brown. What kind of effect would Mike McDaniel have on this offense?
Man, listen, he's going to have a tremendous effect. This guy is one of the best offensive play callers in the NFL. He will have a great effect on that offense. Good with quarterbacks. His scheme is good. The team will have a strong group, a talent for him to work with. He got Justin Herbert. He got a Marion Hampton. He has some good receivers. My man Quentin Johnson and some other guys out there. He got Lad McConkey, who I had on my fantasy team but couldn't stay healthy and couldn't get me no points. But I think this year, I think Lad understands that he's got to take a better care of his body so he can be on that field more. But I think when you start talking about Mike McDaniel and his ability to call offensive games, he's going to do a tremendous job. And I don't think that Quinn Ewers is the greatest of quarterbacks, but he had Quinn Ewers looking halfway decent last year. And you had Jalen Waddle, who almost got 1,000-yard receiving last year, and a putrid offense because they didn't really have a whole lot to work with. I think he's going to do wonders with them Chargers.
I agree. If you're in the chat, if you watching and you in the chat, drop what state you watching from. We want to know what state you watching from. Mossberg, what type of effect do you think Mike McDaniel is going to have for the Chargers this year?
I say big money effect, man. You know, Justin Herbert, that's herbs and spices to me. I think Amarion Hampton, man, this is his season. Like you said, if Lad could stay healthy, I think this team goes to a different level. Like you said, he could do wonders with offense. We've seen what he did, like you said, with Waddle. I mean, everything you spoke on speaks of what he can do with the team where he has a quarterback in Herbert. He has a weapon in Hampton. And then when you add a healthy Johnson and Ladd, I think this team is going to hit another gear. This is a division where, you know, you've had a lot of injuries at key positions in times where they could make a move to get into the wild card, just place themselves in a better position within the conference or even win the conference at times. So for me, I think this offense, this is one of those seasons where it's ride or die, you know, for the Chargers because they bring him in to get that offense moving. I think this is the year they wanted to move in that direction to try to win this division as well. So I like it. And then when you got Joe and Slater, you know, you got Alton Slater back moving and they grooving and they healthy. I think this offense could really take off to the next level. Can it be elite? Is something that I think about in this AFC West.
No doubt. SEC Shine, what type of effect do you expect Mike McDaniel to have on the Chargers?
Oh, man. I was hoping you'd skip over me for this one because I'm not a fan. I I get he had numbers and they put up numbers in Miami, and anybody that can make Quinn Ewers look even like he's got a pulse is something phenomenal. But I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of this Chargers team. I just don't. I don't like what I'm seeing in on their roster. I just don't. There's nothing on that roster that makes me go, I need to watch them. So I think he's going to struggle a little bit. I think he's going to need a little bit to put what he wants around him. You don't have that Jalen Waddle type receiver there. I'm sorry, you just don't. You don't have a Devon Achane running back there. You just don't. Hampton's good, don't get me wrong. But I think the best receiver, which I think we're going to talk about in a minute, is on the second string right now on that roster. So that's my take on McDaniel. We'll see. I could be exactly wrong. It's just what I've seen from him. I don't see the weapons he had in Miami on this roster.
Whoa. Man, that's I guess it's 3-1 because I love Mike McDaniel with the Chargers this season. When you think about all the weapons they have, Omarion Hampton, Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey, man, I really like. And then, like Moss said, that their O-line being healthy this year. I love what the pieces Mike McDaniel has to play with this year. I think they get the job done. I think they're going to be exciting offense. SEC Shine disagrees. He doesn't like the move. So we're going to see how that plays out. But me personally, I'm excited. And I'm gonna come who do I start with? I'll start with Rob. Okay, so yeah. Moss B, I'm gonna start with you, my man. Who will be the number one wide receiver for the Chargers?
Man, I honestly want to go live. I've been watching this guy, man. When he's healthy, he's one of the top receivers in the NFL. I mean, he catches everything. He's a great route runner. His length, body. But that's one thing that I've been thinking about this season. Will he be able to get through this AFC West season healthy? Or will a player like Trey Harris, become healthy? But I'm going live. I like this kid. I've been liking him since he came in. I think this is a year that, when you talk about even breakout players in the division at this position, I think he breaks out and he could be that man on the team this year. That offense will definitely be geared around getting him the ball and getting everybody else the ball to where it's not wearing and tearing on that body to get those injuries as well. So, like you said, I like the offensive moves that they've made with bringing the coach in, and I think it's going to make do for Lad this year in a big way.
Agree. SEC Shine, who's the number one target on this offense?
Man, I thought after my last take I was going to get banned from talking anymore. I'm going to tell you right now, the best receiver I see on this roster, I told you he's on the second string. Rookie Brennan Thompson. That kid is electric. There's nobody that's going to run with him. I'm going to tell you right now. I fully expect, not at the start of the season. I think that's the start of the season, you're looking at Johnson as the number one. McConkey is more of a possessional, I'm going to just give me the ball. I saw Lad McConkey when he played in college, and dude, I mean, if it was near him, it was his. So he's that, but I think as far as dynamic, helping the offense generate and get down the field, I think Brennan Thompson is going to wind up being the number one on this team by the end of the year.
Wow. SEC Sean is dropping bombs today because I did not expect to hear that. But you know what?
Is this not the bold take show? And if you get it right, you get a prize or something? Because I'm shooting for every bold take I can get.
You know what, man? Now that you say that, the type of receivers and players that Mike McDaniel likes is speed guys. He loves speed guys. So guess what? I may take a dart throw on him in my fantasy league Don't tell anybody, though. Mr. Brown, who's going to be the number one receiver for the Chargers this year?
Well, it's got to be Quentin Johnson. I mean, he's a guy who's been there for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? A guy's been in the NFL for a little bit. It got to be him. You know, he's going to be the most reliable guy in that wide receiver room. So, I mean, if you got to pick somebody, you got to go with who you think is going to be the for sure shot. I really like Lab McConkey. That's why I had him on my fantasy team. And I really like Brendan Thompson, who started off at Texas but just couldn't find himself on a way to get on the field because he was so small at that time. Not that he's gotten much bigger, but he's gotten much better with his route running and with understanding how to play football. He was mainly a track dude. So now he understands things, and I'm proud of him for being able to make it to the NFL, bro, because I didn't think he was going to ever be able to do that after going from Texas to Oklahoma, then to Mississippi State, and now he finds himself with the Los Angeles Chargers. I like all of those picks that everybody picked, but I'm going with the safe pick, the sure bet, Quentin Johnson.
Yeah, fellas, those are great picks. I'm taking Lad McConkey. I know he had a down year last year. Rob, I'll offer you a trade for him in the fantasy league. I'm glad I pulled back and kept Marion Hampton instead. But I think he's going to bounce back this year. I think Lad McConkey is going to dominate, and I like him in that Mike McDaniel offense. But let me ask y'all this, and I'm going to start with you, SEC Shine. Now healthy, what kind of effect does having both starting tackles back in the lineup in Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt from Notre Dame, how does that affect this team?
Anybody that's watched any of our podcasts that I've been lucky enough to be a part of knows I love the big uglies. Everything starts there. Okay. So having those two healthy, I like that for this offense. I think they're going to have to stay healthy, of course, but having those two bookend tackles makes everybody else on that line, the running back, the quarterback's job easier. You can get your tight end out if you don't have to worry about double teaming or chipping people because you've got two solid tackles out there. So that helps the entire offense. So I think it's huge to have those two back and be fully healthy.
100%. Shout out to Brandon. Hey, he back. We appreciate you coming back to rock with us. He said, I love the big uglies. It's my tagline on Tinder.
Shout out to Brandon in the building, man.
Hey, he never ever disappoints, man. We appreciate you being here for sure. Moss B, how does having those two tackles healthy affect this offense in your opinion?
Man, I think when you talk about tackles, you're talking about one on the right, one on the left. You know, you could dip and dodge. You can move. You could do things now. You could be swift. You could be patient. You could step into your throws. This is one of your guys. And Art, big 6'8", man. You're talking about two monsters on the line that's going to give you massive protection. They're going to eat pancakes all day. No syrup, just chocolate chip like they've been getting them when they come to my job. And that's just to get right. And even some of them peanut butter chips on there as well. But for me, I think this is the biggest thing. When you get the offensive coordinator in, you get your guys up, you get them ready. The season start, I think this is the year where we might see something special out of herbs and spices. I can't remember if I said that last year. I was definitely riding, feeling like he could do something very good. But I think when you get a coordinator like that and the talent he has, we all know his abilities to spin that thing. I think this could be a special season for him for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Brandon, who's your team, man? Let us know, my man. Mr. Brown, how does having those two starting tackles back in the mix affect this offense for the Chargers?
It's going to have a tremendous effect. I mean, if you're an offensive line coach, the one thing you pray for after having a good center is I gotta have two guys on the end of the line who I can say, listen, you all by yourself with this killer that's trying to get your quarterback. And if you can do that and you don't have to chip and you don't have to help because your two tackles can handle people one on one, man, that's the offensive line coach greatest dream. And I think they got two really good ones at the Chargers. It's going to have a massive effect, so massive that out of all 32 teams, I believe the Chargers will have a top 10 offense.
I definitely agree with that. And my man Brandon said the Texans. Well, I rock with the Colts, homie. So,
Ooh,
that AFC South is going to be bonkers.
man,
So,
crazy.
fellas, that was the Chargers. We hope y'all enjoyed that. We're going to move on to the Broncos, the winner of the AFC West last year. And this is a really interesting team, in my opinion. And I'm going to start with SEC Sean. What kind of effect will Jalen Waddle have on this offense?
A huge effect. Huge. I mean, you're talking, I'm not going to put him in like the top 5 or anything like that. But, I mean, you mentioned what he did last year. I mean, I know it was down there in Miami, but, man, you're putting him up there in Denver with Bo Nix, who I believe was a little bit slept on at the beginning of the season, but came on. Cortland Sutton's out there. Troy Franklin's out there. These dudes, man, look, this is going to be an offense. This is going to be a very scary team in general. This offense, I think this offense is going to be very electric this year. This is probably going to wind up being, in my mind, probably a top 5 offense in the NFL is what I see. If everybody plays to their paper, which we know sometimes things happen, but everything goes all right. I think Bo Nix is going to take another step. I think the additional Waddle just makes them even more dynamic.
Agreed. Mossberg, what you got on Mr. Waddle now with the Broncos?
And one thing, to get into this thoughts of this team and Waddle, man, I think it's special. He get with Bo Nix, and Bo Nix loves to throw the deep ball. You talking about a speedster. I've been watching Waddle since he was at Alabama. I felt he was the best wide receiver at Alabama when he was there. And it was the next year that Devontae Smith went crazy. But when you get a specimen like Jalen Waddle, we already know his abilities as far as his speed, the run after catch. But that opens up, like you said, Sutton. That opens up Marvin Mims Jr. You got Ingram. Then you got Lil Jordan is one that I thought about in this offense as well. I think Waddle opens the offense up so much more. I think Bo Nix increases to another tier. I don't know if they have him at tier 1, tier 2, but I think he increases his performance. And I want to see how he is after this injury. That's been my main thing. Having Waddle come in, but knowing that his quarterback is dealing with that injury, is that going to affect, or would that be, better in the overall? So just a thought for me, I think Waddle's a great addition, man, to this offense.
Mr. Brown, what you got on Waddle now with the Broncos?
Man, Jalen Waddle is explosive with big playability. I expect for Jalen Waddle to get back to his 2022 numbers where he was having 18 yards of reception. I believe this guy is going to get back to that in 2026, and I believe he's going to catch 100 balls. I think they understand that they got one heck of a steal with Jalen Waddle, a guy who can take the top off of it, who can really help Bo Nix to really improve his game. I'm looking for Jalen Waddle to ball out. He should have went to Texas instead of Alabama, along with some of those other Texas high school receivers, but he didn't.
Yeah, it seems like everybody is high on Jalen Waddle, and I'm with y'all. I love the move. This was Sean Payton at his best, getting Jalen Waddle in this offense, and now he complements Cortland Sutton at the wide receiver position. I think they complement each other really well. I expect fireworks with Bo Nix and Jalen Waddle. So let me move on, and I'm gonna start with Mr. Brown on this one. Is Bo Nix an elite quarterback?
A good quarterback, not yet elite, y'all. Not yet elite. When you start to get to elite status, you start to win Super Bowls when you get to elite status because you've shown that you can lead your team to the ultimate goal, which is to win a championship. Now, just because Sam Darnold won a title last year, that doesn't make him elite. But Bo Nix, in order to be in an elite category, he has to win a Super Bowl, and he has to be the one who leads them there.
Okay, Moss B, what you got? Is Bo Nix an elite quarterback?
I'm in agreement. I think he's right there. He's very close. This could be the season to where he get to that elite status. Reason I say that injury. Now we got to see what you do after this injury. Can you come and perform? We know what those injuries do. We know what kind of medical attention you get in top of the line. So can you come out and perform and show us even more? Through that injury, I think this is the season we could say at the end, he's elite now. That's just my thought. And that was a good point you mentioned with Darnold. There's some quarterbacks that haven't won a Super Bowl, that's elite, but you definitely got to get there and win one to get elite. And I think he has to be getting one to get to that elite status.
What about you, SEC Sean? You got Bo Nix elite yet?
Bo Nix elite is my microphone? Am I hearing y'all right? Elite? Come on, man. What are we doing? No, and won't be elite for years.
You don't think he can become elite with those weapons under Sean Payton?
In a few years, I need to see it. Rob said it. You got to win Super Bowls. Granted, Sam Darnold, he's not elite either. He had an elite defense. Denver has that. We'll get to that later. I think he can take steps, but seriously, you're going to be a couple of years down the road before he is classified as elite. You think of the elite quarterbacks in the league: Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Jackson. He's not there. He's not close to that level. Granted, Joe Burrow's career based on injuries, but still, he's still considered a top 5 quarterback, even with all the injuries he's had. Bo Nix is not probably in most people's top 10. But I do like the upside, and I think he will get better with time.
Some that was you finished? Yeah. Some me and Jam kind of sparred on last night. Do y'all think if Bo Nix was healthy, they get to the Super Bowl and possibly win last season? Anybody?
No.
I think that they definitely get to the Super Bowl if he's healthy. They definitely get to the Super Bowl. Win it, I don't know, because that daggone Seahawks defense was unbelievable, and they had a run game that they could rely on. But, man, that would have been a much better Super Bowl matchup than what we got. That's for sure. I think they would have made it, but not won it. I think Seattle was going to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Seattle was going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think Denver would have got there if he was healthy. I think there was too much momentum on the other side. Patriots are the devil. Being a Texans fan, I know that. I know you saying that, brother. I know that. So In my mind, I don't think they would have won the game anyway with him. I just think there was too much momentum and too much heat on that other side that they weren't going to be slowed down. But I don't think anybody was beating Seattle last year. I don't see that at all.
You got any thoughts, Moss?
I honestly would have loved to see that battle. I honestly would have loved to see Darnold versus Bo Nix. You know, that they both played in college around the same times. You know, you think of all that hoopla, you know, on a football field type of thing. And we'd be having a different discussion of who's really elite. Man, I think I would have took Seattle. It would have been tough. I got a liking to Darnold more than Bo Nix, but Bo Nix definitely had a hell of a season. And his elite status, I'm telling you, he could go elite, man, by the second month of this season. I think he's out to prove something. You don't just go get a weapon like Waddle to not make sure that your quarterback's elite. That's just my thoughts on that as well.
Something to think about, fellas. I heard that Bo Nix dropped back the most times out of any quarterback in the league last year. So something to think about. Mossberg, do you I know we talked about the Texans last week and how crazy we all think their defense is going to be. But let me ask you, do you think that the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL?
Man, this Broncos defense is different. Like in the NFL, I want to see it this year. As far as in, you know, it's been a lot of major moves made, but this Broncos defense, they stayed together, and they've strengthened numbers. They playing with a new facility. Shout out to the Walton Penner ownership group. They got the new facility bought, 205,000 acres, 175 million. They spent some money, so I think the defense is going to definitely play a little stronger. NFL, I say top five. I say they definitely got a top five defense for sure. Surtain said he's going to be doing some things different. So if he makes those adjustments and we see this Denver defense ball hawking early from those adjustments, I think they could actually be a top defense as well. These first few months of the season before Christmas is my thoughts and seeing how this Denver team could possibly go back to the AFC Championship, because you know I'm who they. I'm not saying you're going to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow healthy or who they in the game, but I'm just saying their defense could definitely be tops in the NFL for sure.
What you got, SEC?
We know the best defense resides in Houston. We know that. Denver, have y'all looked at their two deep roster? Is that the most no-name defense you've ever seen that is an elite defense? That defense has like Bob Jones, Fred Smith, just dudes. But what I see, they are a very good defense. Don't get me wrong, but they're not on the Texans level. I got them ranking somewhere at about 6, 7.
My goodness.
Like for the unreal graphics we have for y'all. Look at you're never gonna get graphics like that again on your screen.
We timing you out, SEC Sean. You timed out, man. You timed out.
Oh,
my goodness, man. My goodness. Mr. Brown, what you got? Do you think the Broncos have the top defense in the NFL?
I think they have a really good defense, but I do not think they have the best defense in the NFL. I'm giving that nod to the Houston Texans, man. When you look at what they have, and we talked about them last week when we did their division, that Houston Texans defense, man, they are scary all over the place. And I feel like if they could just get that offense together, they will probably be Super Bowl champs next year.
I I get a nod to the Texans as the best overall defense in the NFL for the upcoming season, but I think the Broncos are right there, fellas. I think I really do. If you think about that AFC Championship game, they damn near won that game for the Denver Broncos without having their starting quarterback. And I fully expect Nick Benito and Patrick Surtain to continue to ball out. Nick Benito getting those sacks, and then Patrick Surtain being that shutdown corner, and then this Sean McVay, or not Sean McVay, Sean Payton, excuse me. But I give the overall nod to the Texans, but I think the Broncos are right there, fellas. But let's that was the Denver Broncos or the
Real,
go ahead, Moss.
I was about to say real quick, and the thing about this Broncos defense, a lot of people got to pay a close eye on is Jonathan Cooper. His situation is big, I think, going into the season for Denver. He's had some, issues that he had a couple, incidents in 1 week that he's facing the situation for that he has to go to court for at the end of this month. I think if he's back on his defense and he's playing this season, like you said, this defense can really elevate. They have some great pieces on this defense. Jonathan Cooper can get after the quarterback. He could play on that third receiver. So I think this defense is built to try to reinforce and get better this season and compete with the top defenses for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That was the Denver Broncos. We're gonna move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm gonna start with you, Mr. Brown. What do you expect the Chiefs to make a title run this year?
Heck yeah, man. The Chiefs understand the assignment. They went out and got pieces that they needed for the offense. They got a little bit better on the defense. I think Patrick Mahomes and that team understand, listen, we want to be in the discussion every year when it comes to winning Super Bowls. I think they understand the assignment. They went out and got the best out there that they could get. I expect them to be right there because they got a guy named Patrick Mahomes pulling the trigger. If he's healthy, even though he got on that big old knee brace, I think a healthy Patrick Mahomes has a chip on his shoulder and he has a nasty taste in his mouth from not making it to the playoffs last year and them really being out of it by like week 13 or 14, something ridiculous like that. I expect them to be right there. Again, they're in a really tough division, though, playing against the likes of the Chargers and the Broncos, who are we think are going to be pretty good teams. But I think they're definitely going to be right there, ready to play for another Super Bowl.
Okay, Mossberg, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that? You expect them to make a title run? I think you're on mute.
I really wonder how my thing is what is Kansas City going to do? This Mahomes, Kelsey, title run. I honestly don't think it's a title run year for Kansas City. I think you've seen the rebirth, as I spoke on yesterday. That rebirth is when a player comes out and they're at a certain rating, but they got so many badges, and I think we've seen the rebirth already of Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not going to say they on for a title run, but I think I'm looking to see what does Mahomes do after the injury. It's the quarterbacks in his division has been hurt. Mahomes being the biggest quarterback, I think, to have the injury, like you said, being out of the playoffs, having a shot at the playoffs. So I'm thinking, what will they do? Will they have that chip on their shoulder? Will they play like the 2021, 2022, 2023? Will they play like that dynasty ridden where they went to that Super Bowl for them years in a row? Or will we see a team like Denver, a team like the Chargers, or a team like the Raiders defeat them this year within the division and look elsewhere? So my thing is, can Patrick Mahomes come back from the injury and lead this team to the promised land, be in the playoffs itself before we even look at the Super Bowl? And I'm a Bengals fan, and that's nothing against Kansas City, but that's just my thoughts, honestly. I think this is a tough division. Bo Nix he's trying to make a statement, and we know what he could do. and I think he's coming. And I think Kansas City is a team that everybody wants to get to be in, and I think is something to see this year for me.
SEC Shine, or is Kansas City gonna compete for a championship this year?
Never count them out. They've deserved that. So, championship, I lean no, because I think there's a lot for them to go through to get to the title. I think there's a lot better teams around, including their own this division. But there's other teams out there that are going to be in the way. You mentioned, Baltimore's maybe a Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. There's a lot of good teams they're going to have to go through. So not ready to put them in title contention yet. But if they get in the playoffs, you need to be aware, because they know how to win playoff games. And the knock, not really a knock, but their biggest deficiency on offense over the past few was their lack of a sustainable running game. They'd run the ball a little bit, and then they couldn't. Then they could run it, then they could. I think that's changed with Kenneth Walker coming in. And I'm also extremely high on what they did on their defense in the draft. R. Mason Thomas. Is it Peter Woods? I think was his name.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. Peter Woods. Delane. Mansour Delane. I mean, they've stacked that defense. So I like what they've done on it. I'm not ready to put them as a title contender yet, but if they get in the playoffs, you better have your chin strap buckled if you're playing them, because they know what they need to do.
Great points, fellas. I think we're going to see a totally different Kansas City team. Yes, Pat Mahomes is back at quarterback. We all hope he's going to be healthy. I love Rice at the wide receiver position. I love Xavier Worthy. Rob, you talk about one of your Texas guys. But I think this is a Kansas City Chiefs team that wants to run the ball. SEC Sean just mentioned the addition of Kenneth Walker. Now think about all the great running backs Andy Reid has had. When you talk about Jamal Charles, great running back. When you talk about Westbrook from Philly, great running back, and so on and so forth. I think Kenneth Walker is going to eat big this season, and I think they're going to run the offense through them. Yes, Pat Mahomes is still going to be dangerous. Yes, they're still going to make plays through the air, but I think they're transitioning to a team who really wants to be physical and run the ball and play great defense. Any thoughts, fellas? Closing thoughts?
That's a good point you make with them being a running team, because seeing the wear and tear on Mahomes over the years, could that be an ingredient that was needed, bringing Kenneth Walker in to maintain that progression and getting through a season now? We know, I believe it's an extra game on that schedule. That bye week seems to be later for some teams. So you're getting through a tough season. So I think having a piece like Kenneth Walker and what they got into the draft, they could be changing the culture. So that's a good point you made. And Andy Reid, man, we never know what he's up to, but when he's up to something, he's in that pot. I just feel a certain way about them. When you say Kansas City, do you say title this season? No, but I do say when you got Andy Reid, Mahomes, and now you add Kenneth Walker, a third there. Yeah, you definitely got to pay attention to having that veteran Jones as well. So it's definitely something to see this season for sure.
SEC Sean, what type of season do you expect from Kenneth Walker?
I expect Kenneth Walker to have a phenomenal season. I really do. Much like I spoke on Brock Bowers. I think Kenneth Walker felt a little slighted. I mean, with everything that went on with Seattle, I think he felt, I don't know, lack of a better term, kind of pissed off. And I think he's going to just erupt. And I heard it said by a wise man one time that a quarterback's best friends are a tight end and a good running game.
Facts.
So I think and you mentioned it. I mean, good Lord, we could have kept going. Jamal Charles. I mean, you want to keep going on Andy Reid running backs? I mean, we can be here for hours, Priest, and whatever. But Andy Reid likes to run the ball. He just hasn't really had the ability to run the ball. He has that now. So I expect I'll put him up in top 5 in rushing yards.
You know what? We had a show when he first signed with the Chiefs, and I asked everyone, was he going to be a top 5 back? I believe I was the only one, if I'm not mistaken, to say he'll be a top 5 back this year. I super believe that. Mr. Moss Bird, Level of Sports 10, what kind of season do you expect from Kenneth Walker?
Man, I think you only could have a better season. He cracked the 1,000-yard mark. We seen he had to carry a load. So for me, I'm going to put Kenneth Walker with the Andy Reid offense. I'm going to put him at 1,200 yards rushing. I think that's good overall. I think maybe all purpose 14 to 15, maybe more, but I'm going to put him at 12. And I think that's a pretty good number, 1,200 rushing yards, knowing that he had 1,000, just over 1,000, 27 on 221 carries, knowing they want to move to running that ball. In Kansas City, I think he'll definitely be a big part of that offense. And I think he gets well over the 220 touches that he did in Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with that because he was in a, like, they were just about 50-50 with Zach Charbonnet in Seattle. So that's a really good point. I think the Chiefs are looking at him more so as a bell cow. But Mr. Brown, what do you expect from Kenneth Walker this year?
Well, I know when you asked that question a while ago, you were probably the only one that said top 5. Probably the reason why I didn't was because I probably had Bijan Robinson 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But since he's only one person, I got this guy, Kenneth Walker, being a top 3 rusher in the NFL this year. I got him being an all-pro guy, and I believe he's going to be in the race for the offensive MVP.
Ooh.
Wow, that is
bold statements on a Thursday.
That's a heck of a statement, Mr. Brown. And you mentioned Bijan Robinson. Y'all check out his new hairdo.
Yeah.
Did y'all see his new hairdo? I'm gonna try to pull it up. Well, you know what? I'm not even. But I don't know. He looked like a genie in a bottle or something. Man, it's crazy. I was rolling when I saw it. But I mean, I like Kenneth Walker. I've always been a fan of Kenneth Walker. I think his going back to Michigan State, I think his versatility was not utilized as well as I thought they should have used it in Seattle. He's going to have that chance with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Andy Reid is going to put him in position to make a lot of plays, and I think he's going to eat this year. I really do. You got something, Moss?
Nah, you good. You good.
All right. Mr. Brown, I'm going to make it real simple for you, homie. Is Travis Kelce washed?
No, but he should be thinking about doing his farewell tour soon. But the thing I like about Travis Kelce is he understood that he needed to bulk, not necessarily bulk up, but get leaner and more muscular looking. And he did that in the offseason. He is ready to give it one heck of a go this season. I think him and Patrick Mahomes really refocused and rededicated themselves. No, I don't think he's washed up, but he need to be getting ready for that farewell tour.
What about you, Moss? You think Travis Kelce is washed?
I'm not going to necessarily say wash. Like Unc said, he understood the assignment and put the work in. I think this is going to be a year where he might make this his farewell tour. You know, it might be the season after. You know, for me, seeing him decline last year was tough, but I think, you know, he's definitely not washed up, but I think we seeing the end of a great tight end in his era that held it down, and he's not going to be forgotten as he continue to do major things in the Swift world. We love you, bro.
What
Love it, man.
about you? SEC, is Travis Kelce washed?
Yes. Very washed. Hate that man. I'm not a Kelce fan. Great tight end. I'm not taking anything away from what he's done on the field. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the spectacle, him and his little female person over there. I can't even say her name. Turned the world of football into the Kelce and I'll say Taylor show. Every 20 seconds it just got annoying. And I think he's done. First off, a tight end is going to get hit a lot when you're going out and catching passes or blocking. If you have a bad back, it's not going to get better in the NFL. I can go ahead and promise you that. Because these safeties are going to come down and they're going to hit you in your back. It's just going to act up and flare up. I think Travis Kelce is done. I would be shocked if he played the full season.
Okay. I don't think Travis Kelce is what he used to be, of course, obviously. But I think the thing that's saving his career up to this point is his chemistry with Pat Mahomes. They know what each other is thinking when they line up and play football. I think, and then the emergence of Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy in the passing game is going to open it up a little bit for Kelce. I don't expect him to dominate like he used to do, but I think he'll be a critical part of that offense still, and make a play or two every game, a play or two, nothing crazy, but a play or two. Any closing thoughts on Kelce?
If he does have a bad back, he might want to go ahead and quit now because, listen, Taylor Swift is going to find Dexter St. Job if that back is bad.
Bro, who was that, man? Who was that? Who was that, man?
Oh, man, come on, man. You're young, man. You're too young, man.
Is on it, man. It's going crazy today. We appreciate everybody tuning in this evening, man, for sure.
You know what's crazy? They were selling debris from their wedding. Like, are you kidding me? People were buying debris from a wedding? For what? Bro, that's crazy work. And it was
they're brilliant, though, man. They're brilliant.
That is, I give it to them. That is brilliant. I mean, anytime you can have somebody pay for something so stupid, that's brilliant.
There you go. It's not brilliance. It's the world we live in and the stupidity of people. Hey, do you have any leftover trash from your wedding I can buy? What the hell is wrong with you? I got some trash if somebody wants some. I'll sell it on the cheap.
Bro, unbelievable.
Good Lord.
Unbelievable. So we broke down the AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, LA Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. Gonna be an interesting season. But I gotta get y'all opinion on these questions before we get out of here. And we'll make it quick so we can end the show. And I'm gonna start with you, Mr. Brown. Who's the best running back in the AFC West?
Oh, it's Kenneth Walker.
Mossberg, best running back in the AFC West.
Y'all know I go with my wild picks. I love Kenneth Walker. I know everybody gonna pick Kenneth Walker. I know my man One Take said something about this guy called Amarion Hampton from North Carolina. I like this kid. I think this could be a season where he break out. I think he could be the best running back in this AFC West. And Genchi is going to be a sleeper. But, of course, Kenneth Walker top. I'm going to go with Amarion Hampton.
What you got, SEC, best running back in the AFC West?
Texas born and bred Ashton Genty. Easy.
Yeah, I'm with SEC on this. I think Ashton Genty is the best running back. Will he have the best season?
No.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll have the best statistical season, but I definitely think overall he's the best running back in this division. SEC, or I'm sorry, Mossberg, best wide receiver in the AFC West.
Damn. Oh man, this is one. Man, I like that Naylor kid, but I'm gonna go Unk's boy from Texas. Speed, Xavier Worthy. He know I'm coming to see him, man. That boy hit my Bengals with a couple of them moves, and I still ain't been right since. Xavier Worthy, man. Texas boy. That boy is different.
Man, come
like
on,
him.
man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't even think Xavier Worthy is the best receiver on his team. But Xavier Worthy it is. Who you got, SEC, best wide receiver in the AFC
Come
West?
on. Coming out of the great state of Texas from Houston Bel Air Episcopal High School, Jalen Waddell.
You got Waddle, the best receiver?
Yes, this year he will be the best receiver in that conference. Watch. I don't think anybody stands up to him.
Oh, man.
With what he brings with the electric playmaking, I just don't see it.
Mr. Brown, please.
No,
Who's the best receiver in the AFC West, dog? Please, man.
And listen, I am not passing up this opportunity to tell you that Texas wide receiver Xavier Worthy is the best wide receiver in his division. Listen, I gotta plug a Texas guy in here right here and now. Listen, you got Rice back. You know what attention he's gonna draw. Then you got Kelsey, and then you got a run game. Lightning is going to be streaking down the field, bro. You are about to see Xavier Worthy ball out. Plus, he didn't have the kind of season he wanted to have last year because he couldn't shake that little ankle injury. This guy is going to ball out because attention is going to be on Rice because Rice is all that in a bag of chips. Then you got to worry about the run game. And you know Patrick Mahomes and the play action pass. And that dude, the fastest guy in the NFL at the combine all time. Exactly.
Man, listen. Okay, sis, all y'all so confident in Xavier Worthy. I hope y'all take him in the first round of our fantasy draft.
Oh, if he there, I'm taking him.
First round, right? First pick. First overall, Xavier Worthy is going first overall. Listen, man, I think that I'm going to give the nod to his teammate, Rashee Rice. I know he had some offseason troubles. I know he's been injured, but I think he's healthy. I think he got all his legal problems taken care of. I think Pat Mahomes looks for this guy like a daughter looks for her father when he comes home from work. I think Rashee Rice is going to eat. I think he's going to kind of take the place of Travis Kelce with those shorter routes around the line of scrimmage and in the middle of the field. I think he's going to accumulate a lot of catches and a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. I love Rashee Rice. Draft Xavier Worthy and leave Rashee Rice for me. Best tight end in the AFC West, Mr. Mossberg.
This is probably the toughest one for me. That tight end position is tough. I think Kelce, with what he did in the offseason, I think he'll come back. I think he revamps himself. I think having Kenneth Walker opens it up for Kelce. If we really think about the positions he was in last year to make plays, if we think of maybe you were a little too, big, you had to get a little lean, like Unc said, this offseason workout. I think Kelce, until he leaves, as we think about on the basketball side, until LeBron go, he's the greatest at what he do at his position. I think it's two Andrews and Kelce. I'm gonna take Kelce right now in this division, still doing what he do.
Bro, man, I'm finna throw this laptop so far across my garage, man. Mr. Brown, who's the best tight end in the AFC West?
I'm going with BB and not King. Brock Bowers, the tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like this year he is going to be ready to pick up where he did in his rookie campaign. He's going to be the man to me. I'm going with Brock Bowers.
SEC Sean, best tight end in the AFC West.
Brock Bowers. I don't even think I really need to say anything else. Yeah, it's Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, that dude, Bowers.
God, he's a physical specimen. So, yeah, that's where I'm going, Bowers.
Anytime, I will say this, anytime Mossberg makes a pick like this, he's normally right. But I got to disagree. I got to disagree.
No, my bad for interrupting you. I wanted to go with Brock Bowers. It's just, I don't know, man. You know when Andy Reid be up to things like this, you see something different. I respect Brock Bowers. And I think, yes, he is that tight end. But I'm thinking just this season, I'm going to give it to Kelsey because the possibilities of what they could do. You know, I think this is a season where they're the underdog as well.
Bro, you are crazy. The best tight end in the AFC West is hands down easily. I don't even know how this is a debate. It's Brock Bowers. Do you see how this man runs routes like a wide receiver? How shifty he is? Hands, catches, everything. Man, come on, bro. Let's move on, though. And shout out to our man, Tyne. We appreciate you for being in here. He said, and I believe Denver will win that division again. Everybody is Patrick Mahomes happy, and the Chargers have a pretty good running back, too. I forgot his name, Omarion Hampton. I love Omarion Hampton as well. But to close out tonight's stream, I need a prediction on who's going to win the AFC West. And I'm going to start with you on this, Mr. Brown. Who's winning the AFC West this season?
And I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can dig it. What you got, Mr. Mossberg?
I'm actually going back with Denver, or I'm actually going to surprise them and go with the Chargers. I just think this is their season. One of them, I think Denver doubles back or the Chargers take it. You know, that's just my thoughts.
So you got the Chargers?
I take the Chargers coming back. It's just going to pass the torch in this division for the next few years.
Ooh. One Kansas City Chief, one Charger. SEC Sean, who taking the West this year?
Man, look, we're here to do a sports show and involve the fans and get some discussion going. So your winner of the AFC West is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Is not winning it. It's going to be the Denver Broncos. And I know why Rob went with the Chiefs, because he's a fan of referees and the referees are a fan of the Chiefs. So that's why he went with that.
One Kansas City, one Charger, and one Bronco, right? Fellas, this is tough. I think, does anybody else think they can get 3 playoff teams? Yeah. I think they could. I think they could. I really do.
Didn't the NFC West do it last year?
Somebody did. Was it the West?
It was the NFC West. Rams? It was Seattle, Rams, and San Francisco, right?
NFC West.
Show you right.
NFC West did it last year.
Show you right. Man, dang, this tough. Because I like what the Chargers did, but I love Sean Payton and the Broncos. I'm going to Broncos. Let's go. Broncos going to win it 2 years in a row.
Ooh.
Shout out to Tyne, man. He said that's a whole number one fact, because when Tom Brady played in New England, it was always the referees are cheating in New England. I know for a fact they are cheating in Kansas City. Hey
Man.
man, listen, you in this day and age of gambling and parlays and whatever, man, I wouldn't be shocked, but it is what it is. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here, fellas?
Man, we just appreciate everybody always tuning in to us, man. Just make sure y'all tap into all the channels at the bottom, of course. Stay locked in. Conversations with Mossberg still coming in next week. I'm gonna get back to him. I'm not gonna tell you who. I have a guest for you next week. We just gonna chop it up a little bit and even talk some football, maybe some basketball as well. So just make sure you tuned in for that as well next week.
For sure. Mr. Brown, you got anything?
Nope, I'm good.
SEC Shine, you got anything?
Nope, just same thing. Like, subscribe, go help us out. Hit the notification bell. Tune in. We got some content coming, guys. Man, Patreon, Spotify, we all over the place. TikTok, Instagram. I don't care. Go get us.
Real quick,
What's up,
my
Moss?
bad, Post. I was about to say, I know I do a lot of meeting people while I'm at work, and I told them I would definitely send a shout out to all those people, all those kids, parents who I've, gave the Level Up Sports 10 piece of paper to with all of our information on it and the website. I appreciate y'all coming into the job, giving me the availability to take that time to talk to you about WTP Sports Deuce, Level Up Sports 10, and smile and laugh with your kids and, have a little writing to their hat. So I appreciate you all. And Vanilla P was one of the names that I had this past week, and it was a great thing seeing her and her family. So just wanted to send you a special shout out as well.
For sure, man. I appreciate y'all hanging with us tonight. Check us out Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Turn on your bell notifications so you know when we pop up. We appreciate the chat. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. For Rob, the living legend, Mr. Brown, for Mossberger, Level Up Sports 10, for SEC Shine, and myself, Postgame and Postgame Sports, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.